Hello and welcome back to the fourth and last game today of StarLadder Day 5, Season 8. And we've got ourselves a match between super strong dinosaurs, and they'll be going up against Mouse Sports. And of course, I'm not alone. I'm once again joined by Mod. Welcome back.
Hello. It's good to be here. The last game of the day, Super Strong Dinosaurs, a team I'm very familiar with the new Mouse Sports squad. We've seen a couple of good games today so far. Looking forward to this one, Shiver.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually, our previous matches were slightly one-sided. And I am really having high hopes for this one. Before anything else, so far Mouse Sports has had only one game, which they won, which is great for them. SSD has had 3 games, which are 2 won, 1 lost, so slightly higher on the rankings, but both teams having a decent start here in Season 8. And we'll see if they can continue, and which one will continue to do better, of course, because one of these teams is going to win and gets points.
That's absolutely right, and we are going to kick off with the draft right now with the Bristleback and the Timbersaw. Well, the Bristleback pick we saw earlier, quite the pickup, I think. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, because the game that we actually saw and picked up didn't actually get played.
That's true. I was kind of like, well, that's unfair. I really wanted to see that. That was going to be... It's going to be fun, but sadly, no, we didn't get to see it, but this time we will.
This time we will. We have a lot of supports banned out in the first banning stage, with the Crystal Maiden Lich and the Venomancer all banned out. OD as well, by the way. And SSD, I really like that they pick up the Visage straight away, because of all those supports already banned out, you really want to secure those strong supports. And I think that Come With Me is still playing the Visage. And Come With Me Visage is definitely a great sight to see.
It really is. That guy he's quite the micro user. He's really just an incredible player. He's known for, well, I think he's just got really great mechanical skill. Mirana coming out, this should be a snaking Mirana. He's known for his unconventional Mirana builds. I've seen shotgun Mirana with him. He does a lot of crazy stuff here. I don't think that's going to be the case this time around. He'll probably do something like we saw in the previous game. Getting phase drum into a Desolator is pretty standard. SNY was built in the last game. Maybe just Yash into a Manta style is generally the better option, but this is a weird, because what do? You go with a casual opening in your draft compared to that of Mouse Sports. It's like, yeah, we're gonna go Bristleback and Timbersaw. Like, what?
Yep.
How do you fight up against that?
Bring it on. Well, apparently they are fighting up against it by banning out some heroes that would work very strong with a Bristleback. Again, more supports. This is 4 supports banned out by SSD, but they banned out the Dazzle and the Rubik. Bristleback, even though later on he is one of those tankier heroes, same thing goes for the Timbersaw, but if he doesn't have a good start, then he's not going to get to that point. And maybe that's what SSD is trying to do here, making sure that they don't have those strong supports, so they can't have a strong start, and they can't snowball out of control, because those kind of heroes have Mouse Sports picked up. Heroes that, if they have a decent start, they'll get out of control real fast. Arrows, hitting or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And with super strong dinosaurs, you mentioned it, they want to take this Bristleback down early. But I do like the fact that Mouse Sports pick up the Bane. They know that Mirana Bane is a very strong combo, so they take it away from them. I usually don't like teams being forced into picks, but I do like the fact that they go for the Bane here, just because they also have lockdown from Mirana, who has the leap. Sometimes very annoying to deal with. Bristleback, you mentioned, rolling out of control. That'll happen if they had the arrows hitting Bristleback, or wouldn't happen, excuse me, if they had arrows hitting Bristleback. And this is a very good early fighter as well. Plus the Dazzle Band, very smart from super strong dinosaurs. The question is, what do you go for here with the Mirana? There's no more Nightmare to go up with. Sometimes you can go Shadow Demon. I don't think SSD is going to go in that position where they have to pick up the Shadow Demon, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of Shadow Demon here. I indeed think they would have probably liked to have that Bane. And in terms of support pickups, I guess it comes now down to something like, for example, a Lion wouldn't be that bad. Having that extra Disable coming out, shutting down that Bristleback and Timbersaw in their place, a Hex is going to be really amazing for them to have as well. I think that would be a nice pickup for them, but they go for Bedrider first, so the Lasso is also a great disable for them that they can use, and they're probably going to put that one mid up against a Timbersaw, perhaps, or depending on where the Timbersaw is, maybe they want to try and put it up against each other. It's actually pretty decent to have that, because Timbersaw does need to be able to, have that turn rate going for him, and with the Batrider there, he's not going to have that chance.
Yeah, Timbersaw is not the fastest hero in lane. He needs to get up close to try to last hit those creeps, and to do so, he uses Whirling Death as well. Batrider with, of course, that Sick Napalm will be very annoying. Flame Break can even push him back further. Plus, the sticky napalm doesn't really give a crap about your reactive armor. That still does a lot of damage, I feel like. So if you can get plenty of stacks up, which he will, you'll be in a good position. Another important note, I talked to PBD quite a bit at MLG Columbus. He's a great player. He's playing for the support role for Super Strong Dinosaurs. He loves Alchemist support. That's his favorite thing to do. And he probably will go it this time around because that's a good combo with him on it. Unstable Concoction into Arrow can do a lot of work. So we'll see if they want to do that.
Especially if it's one of those Alchemists that we saw earlier on today with the minus armor build. That's absolutely amazing up against the Timber Saw and the Bristleback as well. Just being able to just nuke him down faster and burn through that armor. I would be really liking that as well. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about the minus armor, and I talked to PBD about that as well. It's like, yeah, the build you go, Alchemist, you get the medallion first. Always get medallion first. Follow that up by some sort of movement, either with a blink dagger or with a force staff, so you can get and initiate quicker. So you use the hero as an initiator rather than, of course, the carry that we've seen it, you know, past TI3, even before TI3 as well. So I like the fact that people are picking it up. PBD models himself as Puppy with that support Alchemist when he used to play that a lot early on in his career. So we'll see if they go that route. Mouse Sports, though, it's their pick with 40 seconds left in reserve time.
Yeah, they're taking their time for sure. I mean, they showed the Bristleback and Timbersaw so early on, so sure of what they wanted to do, and now taking a lot of time to select a puck. Instantly, the counter pick. The counter pick up against the puck is, of course, the Templar Assassin, so that will mean that TA will be mid. Puck, by the way, also, if it does happen to be Puck versus Batrider, which I'm not really expecting, but Puck hasn't got an easy time against either of those.
Yeah,
Puck also
that's a
a
really
hero
tough
that needs his
matchup.
turn rate.
I mean, phase shift can get you out of bad positions, you know, with the Batrider and with the Templar Assassin, but you can't avoid every single, you know, side blade. You can't avoid every single sticky napalm. So Puck, really the only chance he can do is he can just jaunt out if he's in some trouble, but he could still certainly go down to a lasso, or to even a good melt strike and a chase with a psionic trap. So Puck is going to have a tough time here. I like the fact that they go for this. They're being aggressive. They want to get the silences off as well, but still, I don't know if that's the best hero in this scenario. So Mouse Sports with kind of an aggressive pick here, and I'm going to call it. I'm going to say Super Strong Dinosaurs. They're going to go for the Alchemist support. It's not been banned out. It looks like it hasn't been picked up yet. Man, I hope they pick it up. I hope I'm not wrong.
Otherwise you have to drink. That's how the rules go. I do like the banner from the Naga Siren, by the way. I mean, I kind of forgot about her, but she would have been a decent one as well. As also with minus armor, of course, to her name. Mouse Sports will have the first pick here, at least for the last two pickups. Also need another support. And actually, Alchemist kind of works okay with the Bane as well, if you have that one. Bane Nightmare setting up for an Alchemist stun. The Vengeful Spirit, another minus armor support. This is 5 supports banned out by SSD, by the way. That is something that you don't see every day. But also banned out. Also would have been a nice one. I have to say, I mean, disable-wise, there's not that much. I mean, there's an arrow and a lasso up on SSD, which is really nice for them. But on the side of Mouse Sports, oh, there they go. They fixed it a bit. They have got now a shackle. But the Nightmare, of course, there as well. They still go for the Shadow Demon. I don't like the Shadow Demon that much.
No, I don't either. I really... It's good defensively, and he hasn't seen a lot of play, so he's kind of underrated. But at the same time, he's not been picked for good reason. I feel like, you know, you have to get levels, you have to be effective with Demonic Purge. Ganking with Disruption is not the easiest thing in the world. They did this specifically because they wanted a way to set up the arrow. And honestly, you could have set the arrow with an Unstable Concoction, I feel like. So, Shadow Demon, I guess, is okay. PvD plays a good one, but still, I would have preferred an Alchemist, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded that one. Wouldn't have minded one bit. Let's take a look, though, how they're going to be working that Shadow Demon in. I'll introduce the Mouse Sports team, who is now consisted of Crit, with playing the Windrunner of this game as support. We've got Ace playing the Timbersaw, looks to be going towards the middle lane. Unicorn XXO, or XOXO rather, will play the Bristleback. He has been kind of kicked from the carry role, I believe, but no, he will still play carry as the Bristleback. So Exist will play the Puck, and then last but not least, it is... I think it's Wise, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I have no idea who that one is. Let me check that for... You know, I'll check after I do the introductions. Or you can check
this
either way.
user has marked their profile as private.
Dang it. Well, so much for that.
So much for that.
On the side of Super Strong Dinosaurs here in the top lane, we of course have snaking up on the Mirana, the king. He's back on the Mirana, his favorite hero, one of his favorite. Come with me on the Mirana, Peter Pandam or PPD on the Shadow Demon. Great player, great guy as well. Mid lane we'll see Arise. He's up on the Templar Assassin. To round it all out, the off lane player Zai, the young man from Sweden, up on the Batrider.
Yeah, come with me. He's playing the Visage. I tried to write it down, but oh well. You said the Mirana for him as well, but I was, yeah. Sorry. I kind of messed up your introduction there because my camera stopped at come with me because I tried to really fast write Visage, and then I had to move my camera and didn't know which letter I was at, and then it was like too bad.
I'm sure they don't mind. I'm sure people. It's just the introduction.
Oh, as long as you don't mind. Like I messed up your intro.
No, I don't care. I have no idea. It's not a problem.
Cool. Well, I guess that what's happened. Even though, I mean, we haven't, like, this is only the third game that we casted. We've been here for a while. I guess waiting is more tiresome than actually casting. Because our first game had 4 loads for people that weren't there. It's a good thing you weren't there because we had 4 or 5 loads and for the most weird reasons sometimes, and then we decided to postpone.
Yeah. And it was a Navi game too. I was excited to watch that. Already though, mid lane. You look at what the Bane did. He comes in and enfeebles, makes sure that Arise has a tough time early on. The Bane will rotate out eventually. They're not going to duel in this, but for now they just want to make sure Arise has a rough start and exists the farm that he needs to get here early on. But you know, it's really annoying as a Templar Assassin player. Already a rotation from PPD though, just to Harass exists out of the lane as well. So anything you guys can do, they can do better apparently, according to SSD.
Yeah, I really like that they put the Bane mid for a while though, because as we already talked about, regardless of who Exist was going to be up against, he would be having a difficult time, and at least now he has some kind of backup. We do have a Bad Rider on the offlane by himself. He picked up Boots first. He's managed to almost get level 2, but other than that, he's not going to get a range of experience anytime soon by the looks of it. None of it's up to Crit anyway, who was trying to force him out of the lane. In the meantime, Ace, the other offlaner, is actually not getting any experience whatsoever because he has got 0 experience points.
Yeah, he's been getting harassed out of lane, much like the Bat Rider has. Zai can come in a little bit more effectively. He has those boots. Ace didn't not go for boots at level 1 or anything like that.
Wow.
Firefly down here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it looks like Zai is the one to be forced back up, but you have to be so careful with that. But because before you know it, if you're a Wind Ranger, you didn't pick up any skills just yet, but you know, you just have to make sure that you still can walk out of those flames. It can kill you off so fast if you just get a couple of stacks of sticky napalm on you, but well, Crit lives, and Zai actually gets himself level 2.5, so it's also decent for him, even though he loses quite a bit of mana for it.
They're going to be a fighter is the question. Just the sticky napalm stack's going again. Crit probably should be fine. He will have Wind Run if he wants to skill it up right now. Throws the ward down as well, so Zai's just going to back off. Power Shot wouldn't be enough damage to kill him here. Just level up a bit more maybe, but you know, the supports have rotated out of mid. You look at what PPD has done. I think he's gone back top. He's trying to harass Ace out of the lane. He's still only level 1 right now. So off laners, Zai is doing a little bit better than Ace is currently. Mid lane, you see Bane coming back through as well. He's got an ult talisman, surprisingly enough, and he's still level 1. And another enfeeble for Arise. He's having a tough time because of it. Even though he only has 7 last hits, he's only 1 behind the puck here.
Yeah, pretty easy. Oh, the courier! Wow, that was close. Only 1 hit is all that takes from a Bane, so I feel like he could have almost gone for that. And you can't upgrade yet to save his life. 3 minutes and just 7 seconds to go.
Yep.
Wouldn't be a brilliant pickup actually, because it would also have the bottle, I believe. So, well, they can't get it, so I guess pointless to talk about it. And the next time the courier comes, he should probably be upgraded by that time. Bristleback, by the way, is the one that's farming best of everybody here. Unicorn on this bottom lane, 15-4, while on the top lane, the one that's trying to farm most, of course, is the Mirana. Snaking is sitting on 13-6, so he's not that far behind, but behind nonetheless.
And we're in a unique position to witness a Bristleback play. I'm not sure what he'll go for in terms of items. If he wants to fight early, maybe an early Vanguard, if he can get it by 10 minutes. Maybe even pick up a Midas here and then go for even a more tanky item or even a damaging item as well, because you don't see a whole lot of Bristleback play in the pro scene, so it's tough to say what his first item will be, but I'm excited to see what he will pick up here. Bat Rider has actually looked like he went to the jungle right now, or at least he's thinking about it, because bottom lane is definitely not easy for him here. Top lane, going relatively well from the Rana. Snaking, sending on about 20 last hits here. He's got his Basilius done already. He'll have his phase boots momentarily. And with that being said, the mid lane matchup is also something to look at. The Puck's winning, but only by a margin of 2 last hits. He's also losing inexperience, but only by a little bit. Rise is about to hit 5. Puck's not quite there yet, so.
Yeah, and here comes the difference into play from having that Bane in the mid lane for a while. Looks like Unicorn is actually diving Zai quite far here. I'm not quite sure if he should do that with 5 stacks of sticky napalm. I mean, things could turn ugly real fast. 6 stacks. Well, lucky
well, the
for
problem is
Unicorn, there's a creep wave, but yeah.
The problem is the Quill Spray did so much damage. One Quill Spray took Zai down about, 15% of his health, so they do have to be careful of that. And every time that he tries to attack, Unicorn just turns his back, because he has the 1 point at the Bristleback right now. So You know, Zai's actually in a weird position where no matter how many sacks you get, you're still in a dangerous position up against the Bristleback here. I mean, he does quite a bit of damage just with the Quill Spray alone.
Yeah, if he keeps those stacks up, it's very scary. The Shackle actually led. The first one is top though, but we're following bottom right here. Because Zay is getting dived. Won't die though. Top lane is going to be the Timber Saw that fell. Disruption, Soul Assumption, or Soul Catcher rather. Well, I haven't casted a Shadow Demon for a while.
I do the same thing. Whenever there's like a Visage and a Shadow Demon, I'm like, Soul Assumption. Nope, wait, it's Soul Catcher. Just kidding.
Yep. I guess the Soul Assumption might have been there anyway. But yeah. That's a good kill for SSD and one that they were gonna get that at some point, one way or another, and Ace just slightly over too aggressive. He's still level 2.
Yeah, and Soul Catcher's so good for ganking as well if you can get up. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of armor, the Soul Catcher's gonna amplify that damage and it hurts, so that's something to keep in mind. The Bane has still been rotating mid, and this is a problem. He's tied with Ace for the lowest levels. That's your offlane and your support, both level 2 right now. And it looks like he's like stacking up this, or he's just trying to, I don't know what he's doing with this Mud Golems. I think he's just trying to jungle right now. It's not working out in his favor, so very strange choice of place here. The thing about Zai is that if he has a rough time in the offlane, he goes to the jungle, which is exactly what he did. You see this so much from Bat Riders right now, is that jungling is so effective. Hand of Midas is done for the Mirana at 6 minutes, a pretty quick Midas in comparison. I don't think anyone else has one. In fact, Bristleback went for that Ring of Health, so it looks like he might go for that Vanguard, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I think Vanguard would be the item for him to go. And
Invisibility.
yeah, right now most ports, their main concern are those levels. They've got 3 levels that are lower than the lowest of SSD. Level 3 for the Windrunner, for the Timber Saw, and level 2 for the Bane. While the 2 supports of SSD are level 4, the rest is level 6. And that's a big difference, having those holds up. So that means Bat Rider has got his lasso, might still not have his Blink Dagger, but he's not even that far off, considering he has been having a tough time bottom. He's got himself 1.2k gold already, and of course Mirana with that Moonlight Shadow, able to roam around, even though I'm expecting Snaking to just sit around top for a while longer, because he doesn't need to rotate. Templar Assassin could try and rotate and get some kills, but I mean, this is starting to get scary, and I think that Mousesports realize that, so they do have Windrunner actually rotated mid at this point.
Yeah, but what are they going to do here? Really, the only thing they could do is, if they started out with the Nightmare, maybe, but they don't have Nightmare skilled up on Bane. He is level 3 now, so he can scale it up if necessary. They do have the Dream Coil as well. I don't know if Arise will get caught out of position. The question is, do they have Sentry Wards? Yes, they do. They have one on the ground right here, just next to him, so they need to get something done in this mid lane. Otherwise, they're all sitting around leeching experience for no good reason and not using the map effectively. That's the story of SSD. They're using the map so much more effectively than that of Mouz, and that's why the levels are, you know, such a difference. But, for now, we'll see what happens here as the game continues onward at 7 minutes in the game. SSD with a strong showing in the first couple of minutes here, but there hasn't been a whole lot of action yet, but there should be in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dual jungling Timber Saw Bane, and now Crit comes in to take some of the experience as well. It's, you know, it's not bad yet, but once those rotations from SSD start happening, which hero is gonna stop them? Is it gonna be Exist? He is the only one right now that is actually doing quite okay next to the Bristleback, but Bristleback needs a bit more. He needs that Vanguard before he can do anything.
Yeah, I agree. And even then, it's still going to be tough if the rest of your team is underleveled and dying very quickly. So
yeah, then he needs something to draw the fight out longer. That's his strength. He needs long fights. They need a mechanism. They need to be able to stay alive for a while. And at this point, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. And, you know, the longer they sit and farm, the longer they sit mid, especially, the worse they're getting here, because they're still not getting that much experience, they're not getting that much gold, they're not getting any pickoffs. And SSD is okay with just farming in the top jungle and waiting for the Bat Rider to get his Blink Dagger. He's got a stack up here, a 2 stack in this creep camp that'll give him some decent gold. He'll, of course, head over to this other stack over here that he has. So he'll get a lot of gold just from these 2 stacks alone. And even close to his Blink Dagger. Not quite there yet, but still a couple minutes, and he'll have it. That's going to be like a 9-minute Blink Dagger or a 10-minute Blink Dagger, which you don't see too often anymore. But in the jungle, Zai's getting it done. So props to him for having such good farm right now. Maybe more along the lines of a 10-minute Blink Dagger because he did miss that stack, but...
And I mean, he by himself farms faster than 3 heroes jungling together on a set of Mousesports.
Yeah, that's kind of sad when you think about it, when you put it that way, especially.
Now come with me, rotates bottom. He is still level 4, wants to get some levels for himself and should be able to pick them up. I mean, Unicorn shouldn't be able to kill him off at this point. And I mean, that's the lowest hero in the game for SSD. They are giving them some freedom to level. Shadow Demon is still leveling top with the help of Snaking, who are actually trying to take down a tier 1 tower right now. Nobody coming in to defend it. I don't blame them either. Oh,
yeah,
Shackle.
they sacked this lane.
Ah, no, never mind. Come with me indeed. He's not gonna die for now.
They sacked the top lane. They know that Ace, if he was up there, he'd probably die again. They're just trying to get some, experience or gold anywhere on the map. Unfortunately, that means that a tier 1 tower is going to have to fall, and Snaking is going to get the kill. Nope, just kidding. PPD got it. That's not what you wanted, but that's still fine. Interestingly enough, the Mirana picked up Ring of Health, maybe the start of a Lincoln Sphere. I'm not 100% sure about that. Blink is done for the Batrider at 9:36 for Zai. Really well timed there.
On one side, I actually like the Lincolns, if that is what he goes for here. Because, like, what is the item that you want to go for in this case that, could bring you back into the game? Or the item, I mean, oh, wait a second. Teleports bottom, they want to go for Unicorn. Melt hit, already hit. They jump after Unicorn. The arrow doesn't hit, though, and it looks like Unicorn might be able to get away. He gets slowed. Soul Summoner comes in. The Shackle hits upon a rise, so they won't be able to chase that further. The trap still goes down, but they are safe behind their tower. SSD with a lot of rotations coming in there. With actually all 5 are now on the bottom lane, even with Batrider with a smoke up with his Blink Dagger ready.
Yeah, that's really, really good for Mouse Sports. The fact that, number one, they wasted a lot of teleports, time, rotations coming out from SSD. All 5 going down bottom means that the map is free for them to roam elsewhere, but they are going to jump on mid now with the last.
Yeah, melt damage coming through as well. Exist. Does phase shift, tries to get himself out. Might not making it through though. He's still 2 stacks of sticking April. We try to turn around. You should never do that. That's an easy pickup for a rise.
Yeah, he almost survived that actually. He had the regen rune, I believe, that he popped right at the end, but there's just too much damage coming out.
Yeah.
So they do rotate and they get a kill at least out of that.
Yeah, I think he actually tried to turn around for perhaps a Dream Coil, but you can't just try and turn with the Batrider chasing you. That's just not possible.
Yeah. It was not a good decision, but he knew he was dead. He was just trying to do something there. Still though, like I said before, they wasted a lot of time for SSD. They didn't get the kill on Unicorn XOXO. If that was any other hero other than the Bristleback, they get the kill there. But he's too tanky with Bristleback. Just, it's way too much damage reduction with 24% at level 2 is what he had. So, it was a nice try. But also, the Shackle Shot saved the life of him as well. If that Shackle Shot wasn't latching, they get the kill. But a Smoke Gank now coming out from Mouse, this is exactly what they need to do. They got to get 1 kill somewhere on the board here, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and Puck has got his Blink Dagger as well. So, this is their timing. If they don't get this gank, that will be a lot of time wasted. And I would be quite worried for Mousesports in that regard. By the way, Lincolns would be nice up against the Fiend script, which is what I was going to say earlier. But there's a lot of things that can actually pop the Lincolns already. Blink forward, Snaking. He still cannot leap. He will go down. Nice skill. Exists with the last hit. In comes the Rice, though. Trap. Exists kind of low on mana. Just tries to TP himself up, but there will be a lasso. No hope for Exist. He will get picked off. A 1-for-1 exchange it's going to be, but at least he gets the experience, which is something that I'm probably going to be, like, if I'm a pocket, at least you get something.
Yeah, exactly. And, they really, if that was any other hero than the Mirana, I think that that's a trade that favors SSD. But since the Mirana's not farming now for a little bit of time, that still kind of sucks for them. Yep. Though they do get the kill for Arise, which is the other hero that you really don't want to give the experience or gold to. But what are you going to do? And they're just playing effective Dota right now. They're going to Moonlight Shadow. Maybe look for a kill on bottom. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
or just jump on mid.
Bane. Double damage room for the Templar Assassin. It looks like Bane is sensing trouble. Realized that the Moonlight Shadow went off. Of course, I mean, for example, Visage was showing himself bottom, so he knew that. And he backs off. He'll be fine. A double damage rune up on a Templar Assassin. No matter which hero you are, but especially Bane, you don't want to stand next to that.
Yeah, TA will just wreck through people, and she's actually, wow, she's going to go ahead and rush with this. This is an excellent idea. The armor reduction from Meld, the refraction will keep her up as well. This is a really great idea. Plus, the Visage Familiars. This rush will go down relatively quickly, and there's nothing, they have no idea this is really happening, I think.
Oh, 13-minute Roshan. It's not something that you anticipate, even though they could have, the Templar Assassin, but they can't do anything against it anyway, I guess, even if they did know.
It's actually going to be tough now. I mean, there's no more double damage, and she's taking a lot of damage. No more refraction, though the arrow does come through. So Arise should take this Aegis up just fine. Yeah. But while that's happening, Grizzle does take the tower, tier 1 down bottom, and that's nice. At least that's some gold, but still. Roche and the Aegis going to Arise right now. They're in a position where they're going to start fighting very soon. Arise will go back home and get some healing. He'll regen up a little bit and then try to jump in on a fight. But you can see where all of the heroes are for both teams. There's a fight that's brewing around bottom lane for whatever reason. Everyone's just saying, let's head down bottom. Let's think about fighting.
Yeah, even though the tier 1 tower is already dead. I would more say like try to find somewhere where you can still pick off a tower afterwards, but they still want to fight this. They've got the Vanguard for Unicorn. Perhaps this is the way to go. They go for the Visage. Come with me. We'll go take a fall. Soul Subject still comes in, but it doesn't really matter. Zai, Fiend's Grip killed off as well. Everybody just comes in one by one. Now in comes Arise, and that might be the change that they needed. They kill off the Bane, looking for the next one. Unicorn still going for the support. Disruption will keep PPD safe for a little while longer, but he will still get picked off with one hit of the Blade of Ace. Snaking also silenced up. One hit, dies. That's 4 dead. Looking for the last one. Arise, the last one alive for his team, who is really looking for Ace. He won't get him for the moment. Melt Strike, and he will make it out alive. But that is a 4-for-0 exchange. Am I saying 0 right? No, Bane still died,
yeah,
I guess. 4-for-1.
They got one. Yeah, they got one, but still, that is a fight that goes decisively the way. I'll hold that thought. Crit, I think he's okay. No Blink Dagger or anything for the Templar Assassin. We'll use the Psionic Trap. Drum Charge being used right now. There's a kill going for Rise. At least they get that. But still, I mean, you saw the trickle in with all those TP rotations. They knew they could fight under the tower. They had that silence still with it exist. What a great play from him to silence up the Bat Rider so he couldn't Firefly, Lasso, or Blink, or do anything really. He got hit up so quickly, he just died so fast. Another thing, you talk about the arrows from Mirana. The difference between the last game and this game is huge. Snaking's not hit really any of his arrows in comparison to the ones that were hit last game. So
they do find Ace with the lasso. They should be able to pick him up as well. So 4 versus 1. I mean, not really that big of a battle, I guess. But yeah, I agree. The arrows of previous game were just insane. But this one, I mean, Snaking has been a bit on the side, I guess, a bit more than previous game. He's been trying to farm more than anything else. And it shows. It really shows. I prefer the other type of Mirana more.
Yeah, the aggressive Mirana was coming out very early on. They wanted to try to fight, but that's not their lineup. They want to just try to find pickoffs and just try to find farm.
Ooh.
Oh, here we go.
Shackle and Dream Coil PPD will be not the one to die. Disruption will still come out. Leap forward from Snaking. I think that PPD is still going to be gone. Yeah, the Brain Step comes in from the main. The Moonlight Shadow won't keep him safe. Will just be wasted in the mid lane, where everybody, by the way, of Mousesports is gathering right now. I guess they found their sweet spot timing with like saying, you know what, we've got the Vanguard, we're gonna go for it, we're gonna try and fight right now, and it's actually paying off just fine.
Actually, you mentioned it a lot earlier. You're saying, well, they were behind, you know, Mouz was behind. What do? What do they put their backs on? They put their back on the Puck, like you said. Puck has found the timing here. He's got the, you know, the control, the initiation, but hold that thought. There's an arrow that hits. They're going to try to fight this Timber Chain in. Shackle shot on the rise. He's in some trouble. There's the Enfeeble as well. Blink and Lasso. Unicorn maybe in trouble. Soul Assumption. Fiend's Grip on the rise. There's spells flying everywhere. I can't keep track of it. Ace diving too far. Fiend's Grip, that's the age is gone. He's down for 4 seconds. He'll be back up in a moment. But can they fight this? No. Snaking is too low. They might get dove right now. Arise trying to get out. Timbersaw takes down Zai in the jungle. While that's all happening, Soul Assumption, not enough damage, but the Visage Millers will take the kill. And that might be the end of the engagement. But Mouz are just dominating this team fight during the mid stage of the game.
Yeah, I have to say, like, long fights, they favor Mousesports so much. I mean, SSD has got the burst damage. You know, you lasso someone and, you know, that one will die if there's people around there. But so far, Mousesports, they just have the control. Their shackles have been latching, which is of course a big deal actually, as we didn't see that last game, for example. And I mean, it's working out for them. It's going well. Look at this Bristleback. He is all of a sudden highest on net worth. He's got himself the start of a Heaven's Halberd if he wants to. Sanji Yasha, depends on really what he wants, to be honest, because both would be decent here. I am actually, I have to say, impressed that they are still able to pull this out at this point. I mean, the gold graph is still in favor of SSD, fair enough, but it is only 2k and just a couple of towers and we'll put that right back to the 0 line. Experience graph still slightly in favor of SSD, but being kept even at this point with 5k in their favor.
Yeah, and honestly, this goes back to the... It is really impressive because they sacked that top lane for Mirana to pretty much get free farm, but they did the smart thing. They went back up top and they got a gank on Snaking. Then they killed him again, so they've disrupted Snaking's farm, which is huge. He needs to get to that Lincoln Sphere, which he should be going for. He has that perseverance. Arise, probably going to go for a Blink Dagger. He does pick it up right now as he's got enough money, so now he'll be able to be more effective in Initiation's top lane. Maybe a Lasso coming in. Yes, Ace may be in some trouble here.
Yeah, Arise not around, but it doesn't matter. Visage will take the kill. Come with me. With the gold, Smoke Off was in the meantime for Mousesports. They wanted to go top to use that Timbersaw as bait probably, but SSD kind of beat them to the punch, so their rotation will be kind of useless, and I think they might actually just go for middle again, because, you know, they just want to fight middle, but they didn't take the tier 1 tower off the back of that. They want to fight bottom, but they didn't take the tier 2 tower off the back of that, and that might actually start to come into play, because If they can't take those map objectives of the fights they can take, how are they gonna get ahead in terms of control of this game?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They didn't need to dive past the tier 1 tower. They should have just taken it, but that'll be fine if they can take the tower down. It looks like they will. There is a fortification. Arrow's going to fly and miss, but still, this, I don't know if they'll defend this here.
No, they might be trying to go for the 9, but can't get it. Shackle doesn't latch this time, and SSD backs off behind their tier 2. Still, everybody of Mousesports hanging around for the moment, but I would say go to the next tier 1 tower. Tier 1 tower top on the menu. Looks like that is indeed the case.
Yeah, and this is just 5-man game. You know, they know they have the team fight now, and the Bristleback will maybe start to fall off later on down the road. And they won't have anything to really, you know, put their back on. But, you know, if they have to deal with snaking getting farmed, they have to deal with TA getting decent farm as well. They want to try to take all of the objectives, like you said now. Get those towers down, look for tower kills, maybe try to find pickoffs, get map control as well. They're going to start putting wards up in the jungle if they get this tier 1 tower, and then go for Roshan or something like that, and just have complete map dominance, and that's exactly what they need here.
Yeah, they do fortify their own towers, Mousesports does. As Snaking is pushing a bit in the mid lane. Who sends out a random arrow, doesn't catch anybody with it. But yeah, SSD, they lose all their outer towers. There's no tier 1 tower left standing. They might be getting the tier 1 bottom though in return for it, and that's actually quite decent because that means, I mean, Mousesports Rise didn't go for losses by the way, but that means that Mousesports just took down a tier 1 with 4 of their heroes, while SSD only had to spend 1 hero for the same goal. Batrider, what are you doing? Wants to go for ace. There's a lot of backup around for Mousesports though, but they should be able to get ace at least. Soul Subject comes in. It might be enough. It is enough indeed. Now in comes the Bane, goes for a free script, gets the Batrider. That's gonna be retaliation straight away. In the meantime, Unicorn has jumped himself into quite a few of the enemy heroes, but because he is the Bristleback, he should be able to live through that. And in the end, turns out to be a 1 versus 1 with the ultimates being used left and right. The Moonlight Shadow to back everybody of SSD off.
I can feel SSD's frustration right now because you talked about it. Unicorn blinked right into everybody, and any other hero probably would die. He's got a Vanguard and a Sanj though, and he's Bristleback, so he just turns around. He's like, yeah, I'm pretty much at full health, so it's fine. So there's nothing they can really do to get the kill until they get some more damage on Snake King, who's going for a defensive item first in the Lincoln Sphere. The SMY is now done for Bristleback, so not only is he going to be tankier, he's going to be speedier as well. So what do you do in this scenario? It's going to be a tough one.
Well, I would say, like in which scenario? If it was SSD, I would try to get more control over the map. They don't really have that much vision going on their own jungle, which I think they should have.
Right.
They've got 3 wards up though, I mean, it's not that bad. But they, like, constantly, Mousesports is the one to smoke up and to just 5-man stuff. I think it's time for SSD to smoke up and try to find some pickoffs. And if I was Mousesports, I just continue doing whatever I'm doing right now, just 5-man and roll over SSD because it's working.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. And they are going to farm their own devices right now. They're going to try to get the Bloodstone up on Timbersaw. He's relatively close in his purse, and he'll complete that up. But he's going to get ganked, so that's going to take a little bit longer now.
Well, that's a gank that needed to happen again, I guess.
Every time. Ace just gets ganked every time. It's like the 3rd time that's happened. He's like, why me? Why?
Well, it's because he is by himself, I guess, a lot. Yeah. Yeah, in the mid lane he was alone as well. Top lane he was the bait earlier on the bottom lane. He was the bait twice on the top lane and he died. Yeah. That's 4 times in a row.
Yep, he's very sad. While that was happening, PPD was getting ganked mid, and right before the Shackle shot came out, he TP'd away. So he somehow got the TP before the Shackle canceled it. And he really should be dead, but no, he's alive. And yeah, you talked about map control. SSD really have none of it. They will throw down a ward in the opposing team jungle. That's going to be a good start for them. That'll help them get farm, at least in the opposing jungle. And they'll take Roshan. I think that the Radiant know this is happening. They have a ward right around the pit. Obviously, they don't seem to go into it, but they notice that everyone's over here. No pangs just yet, but there are TP rotations coming to the tier 1 tower now. By that time, though, Rosh will be dead with the medallion, with the refraction and meld damage going through, so...
Yeah, the minus armor coming out from SSD is pretty nice and is indeed enough to take him down. Arise is actually sitting on 2,800 gold. So curious to see what he goes for next. Like the one big difference right now, I mean, okay, Mousesports has been able to win a couple of fights right now. But look at that experience graph. This is what you get if you are indeed grouping up as 5 and are taking down structural, you know, controls rather than actually taking down a lot of kills in their fights. Because SSD has got way more places to farm. Like, they're split up, and they can take farm on multiple lanes, while everything on one lane gets split between 5 people of Mousesports. So that's hurting them right now. If they don't do anything with their 4 or 5 heroes that they have mid right now, they might as well just split up and continue farming. And I say split up, and I don't mean it that literally, because we have seen Ace picked up when that happens. But just go with like two people somewhere and 3 people on the other side or something like that. And I think Unicorn can actually be by himself, so with 2-on-2 with the other 2. Oh, Bat Rider has to be careful there. It looks like, oh, Power Shot still almost killed him, but no, he's fine.
Yeah. Bat Rider actually initiated onto the Puck there, and Puck had an excellent time silence. He was hitting that W button as soon as he saw the Bat Rider jump on top of him, and he's lucky. That Bat Rider almost got the last off. Zai would have had pretty much a free meal on Exist, and Exist hit the button quickly. And they just saw a little bit of positioning error coming out from Exist and the rest of Mouz. You know, you talked about sitting everyone mid, and that's the reason why, because they can get picked off so often. So if there's any sort of, you know, if there's any real positioning errors coming out from the side of Mouse Sports, they're going to try to punish it. Unfortunately, it's going to be tough because Exist has been playing really absolutely on his game. I think if there's been one person that's been doing a lot of work this game, it's been Exist. I got to say, he's really impressed me with his play this game.
For sure, and he is, once he has his side of Vice, which I'm assuming that he's going to go for, they will be able to make a lot more things happen. I mean, initiation power right now consists basically of either Unicorn running in, which, you know, it has happened, or Ace playing bait, which hasn't really paid out because he's actually died, and that's not the point when you were playing bait. And Exist can, of course, blink in and silence and everything, but I think once he has his side of Vice, that will be even better. Come with me. In some trouble. Already got himself the Grave Chew off, but I don't think it matters. He gets shackled to the one of the 2 trees that was there. Will get picked off. The rest of SSD not coming to his rescue. We actually have got Zay really wanting to take down the tier 1 tower middle. It looks like he's able to do that as well with the help of the familiars, but in comes a teleport from Exist. Instantly blinks after where he thinks that Zay is, but he's already over the hill. He's, by the way, I mean, he's got Blink and Force and Boots of Travel. And actually, the familiar still take down the tower. No deny. Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, that was a nice play from Come With Me. Well, the familiars were at their max damage as they had just used their stone form to get back up there. What's important to note is that SSD, they've not played into the hand of Mouse Sports for the past couple of minutes. You notice those team fights that were happening down in the bottom lane? That's not happened since then. They're waiting to get Snaking Farm as well as the Temple Last Assassin. Now Zai getting initiated on, or trying to initiate. Oh, the Shackle Shot. Nice disrupt.
Following a different fight where Bane actually went down and was the Rise is doing. It's a bit mixed up fight, which definitely favors SSD more, and they will find Ace as well. Looking for another one. Unicorn is not going to be one that they can take down without a good disable up on him, though, and if maybe Snaking him hits a long range arrow. The Shackle is still there for a Rise, but he'll be okay as well. He's got another, well, he's got another refraction in a couple of seconds, and I mean, that kind of split up fight doesn't favor Mouz at all, and it showed.
No. Yeah, you're right. And you talked about those extended fights with the Bristleback staying in for a long period of time. Guess what? SSD dips in, they dip back out, and they get a couple of kills because they're able to get out of there. And they do another one on, this time Exist. This time he'll go down with the Visage Familiars and Zai grabbing the kill. Nicely done. That's exactly what we're talking about. Those quick engagements, the quick nukes. Yep. They take the kills, they get farm, they get out, they get farming again. When they get the items, then they'll start team fighting a little bit more effectively.
Yeah, they might not be able to do that on Unicorn yet, but I'm thinking, like, if... Like, now with the Desolator for a Rise, they might actually have a chance. If they get an arrow up on him, or the lasso with nobody around, then they should be able to take him down. But he is still so tanky, but he's not the one that can carry his team at this point. Not yet, anyway. He, by the way, hasn't died yet a single time. He's the only, like, actually not the only person in the game that hasn't died yet. Also on the team of SSD, a Rise is sitting on 4-0-4, so also not died just yet.
Yeah, and he's playing, Arise is playing a heck of a game, but I gotta say in that last engagement, before Bane died, he got the Enfeeble off on Arise, and they tried to do damage to the Bristleback, and no damage was had, despite having that Desolator. It just doesn't work if you have Enfeeble up on you. So, Arise is going to try to focus on, number one, picking off the Bane like he did in that last engagement, and just staying out of there so he doesn't get enfeebled. If he can get his full damage on the Bristleback, they might be able to grab the kill. They're going to Moonlight Shadow, Blink, they're going to last, it looks like, but he's got no follow-up just yet. Here we go, PPD. Might Soul Catcher, that's still not going to be nearly enough. He'll Demonic Purge as well. So look how tanky he is. And this might be his first death.
Oh, there he is. Disruption comes out and a Rise runs in. Arrow will fly, doesn't hit up a Unicorn, but the melt damage comes through. Yeah, that's enough. Mirana will take the last hit for it, and the cavalry coming in from the smoked up team of Mouse Sports. A bit too late, but perhaps they can still get something. They got a Dream Coil up on 2 at least, and that might be just what they needed. Everything is used on that Unicorn to take him down. And oh, nice leap from Snaking. Should be able to make it out. Bane still goes down to the TA. Arise still alive, of course, but it's a 1-for-2 trade, which, you know, you can definitely give up a Bat Rider for taking down that Bristleback for once.
Yeah, Come With Me actually might die because he stayed too long. He should have left. He's going to Grave Chill, which will give him the move speed. He'll try to TP out. Shackle Shot. Oh, the stuns. Come With Me. What a player. Damn. Okay.
Wow.
What happened was Come With Me actually solo killed the Bane top while that was all happening. It was a 1-for-1 trade down bottom, which is okay because they killed the Bristleback, and that's a monkey off their back, really. And that's such a damn annoying hero. In fact, he's got a plate mail. That's more armor. He's going to probably go for an AC, I'd imagine. And then how you kill that hero? How? How do you do it?
A monkey off their back? Is that actually a saying?
Yeah, that's a saying. That's
I've
an
never
American
heard that
saying.
before. That's
Well, now you know.
Now I know. Indeed I do. Well, PPD, I'm not sure what he's thinking about doing. He's got familiars. Perhaps you think he can take him down, and I think perhaps he might be Boots or Travel. Well, that will help out. Familiars. Ace. There's no way.
Yep,
Oh
Zai
god,
again.
that can happen every single time. They've got the familiars there. Last 2, of course, needed for that, but it's level 2, almost level 3 actually. It will be level 3 in just a moment on the lasso, and yeah, that's scary. Ace is really not having a good game. I mean, he's got his Bloodstone and he's got 6 charges. Yay.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well,
how long is that gonna last?
Not yet, because he's got 6 charges. Like, when you get below 8, that's problematic. And he will respawn a little bit quicker, but he needs to get those Bloodstone charges up so he can pretty much be in the fight at all times, especially if he can get Boots of Travel as well. But, yeah, you mentioned it. I mean, he's got 8 deaths. That's unfortunate. That's really bad. And it's a tough game for him. But you got to give it to SSD. They had a little bit of a slip early on with that bottom tower fight, but since then they've been playing solid Dota. They know to take fights. You know, Bristleback's tough. They just realized that Snaking and Arise need to get farmed before they can start doing crazy stuff. Snaking's pretty much got his Daedalus right now if he wants to pick it up. He also has Midas off cooldown if he wants to use that as well. Come With Me as Aghanim Scepter, going for what seems to be an AC, which will be good because that armor reduction is really nice to have against the opposing team, which, by the way, I mean, you know, Unicorn will have that at some point too, so counter that out. And if SSD keeps going this way, they should really take this game. I mean, there's not much you can do. Your Bristleback's going to start falling off. Where's the damage going to come from at about, 40 minutes in?
Yeah, I mean, I just looked at the graphs. It doesn't feel like it's that far in favor of SSD, but I mean, it's over 20k gold experience. It's 12k gold. It's scary. And in terms of experience, there is actually 4 heroes on SSD that have got their level 3 ult, while on the side of Mouz Sports, there's only 1 that has his level 3 ult, which is the Bristleback in this case.
Yeah.
It's scary. I feel like it's a mercy for SSD to just not go for anything just yet. They're just waiting for Mouz Sports to do their thing, and then they'll reply to that unless they can, of course, pick up heroes like Ace, which, by the way, they can't do again because Ace this time is on the other side of the map. They will still try to take down Unicorn, and in comes Arise as well. If they take him down, he is still the best target to find. The Familiar Disable's doing work right now. The Flame Break as well. Unicorn, he gets help right now. In comes Exist. The Dream Coil. Unicorn will live to see another day. The Shackle will latch on Arise. The Moonlight Shadow will try to keep him safe, but in comes the Chakram. In comes Ace looking for some kind of revenge. In comes Arise, or Exist again. Arise is able to get himself away. The Timber Chain does not hit. And Crit cannot get a Shackle up on him again. In comes an arrow, nicely dodged. Looks like nobody will die on this fight right now. Oh, that was close though. If that was anybody else but Bristleback, again, they need so much to take that Bristleback down. He is the only reason they're still in this game. And I mean,
they use so much.
Yeah.
Ugh. They use so much for him, and this is why they're not fighting yet. They're going to find a pick off on the Bane, which is really nice for them. You see the rotations coming through. They need to back it now. They will. But this is the thing. This is the reason they're not fighting yet, because they know they can't take down the Bristleback. They don't have enough damage just yet. They will soon. And then they need another item on Snaking, maybe even 2, to be super effective. But they're waiting maybe for the Assault Crest. Ooh, that Shackle Shot was close to hitting Snaking. That almost latched them. But yeah, they're going to go for Roshan, and also Roshan, plus your next item set. That'll be what they're waiting for.
Yeah. I actually just noticed Visage's farm. He is second highest on net worth for his team. He's got an Assault Cuirass, an Aghanims, his Hand of Midas, of course, and Come With Me is just really, really rich. Let's just put it that way.
I agree. And he'll continue to get rich with that Hand of Midas, and he just finds farm where there isn't any on the map, and a lot of that is because of the Midas, but they're also prioritizing him farm where they really shouldn't be. But then again, anytime they're going ganking, he's not involved. His familiars are, but he's farming elsewhere on the map, which is really good. Like, he's got 1,000 gold already back in the bank after finishing up that AC, which, by the way, Bristleback did complete his up, so they do have the AC on him. He's very tanky. I don't know what they're doing right now. They haven't smoked up on the side of Mouse Sports, but they're traveling as 5 together, and really they've been doing this for the past, like, 20 minutes or so. So they're going to try to find something here.
Yeah, they haven't been getting enough when they grouped up as 5, I have to say. They are just not getting the farm, they're not getting the experience. They're really leaning so heavily on that Bristleback that if they are able to if SSD is able to pick up Unicorn at one way or another at some point, game will be over, I think, real fast. If Unicorn falls behind. So far, he's doing okay though, and they might be able to pick up the tower here as well. They actually are all 5 in the mid lane looking to pick something up. If it's not the tower, then maybe something else. In comes the Moonlight Shadow. The arrow will not hit. Disappear in the forest. Familiars might be able to do some damage to the Bane. The stuns won't come out just yet though. Or, well, doesn't matter. Bane will still die. Now the Dream Coil. It is actually exists and it jumps in. Timbersaw, Wind Ranger. It is all on the side of Mouse Sports. The deaths that are falling right now. Unicorn will get stunned by the Familiars and the minus armor is too much. The only one that lives through all of that one is Exist, who is still able to blink himself and get himself a kill. But other than that, he is... Whoa, he is gonna die. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's
totally
a bold play. He shouldn't have done that. He really should have just left, and he got PPD. I mean, great, but you're dead now, and you're a big part of your team, so that happening was unfortunate. There was a lot of damage coming out of that fight, most of it coming from the Desolator, as well as Snake King's Manta style, and as well as his Daedalus, or excuse me, Chrysalis. And maybe they take a tier 3 tower now. It'll be tough. There's no Bristleback, however. They've got Desolator. Fortification's going to fly. Starstorm will clear out the creep wave. So Mouse Sports, just like that, once that next set of items got up, they were working hard. Excuse me, SSD was working hard, and they just took down so many heroes. They team wiped them, obviously. They get a melee Rax. Daedalus is now done for a Rise. And now it's all downhill from here for Mouse Sports, I think.
Yeah, and they actually forced out the buyback from the puck, which is a pretty big deal because he still not has his Scythe of Ice. And he is, like, when I was talking about him getting a Scythe of Ice for better initiation power and all that jazz, he had the same inventory as he has right now. Yep. And that was, what, 10, 15 minutes ago?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, he had to buy back 2 just a moment ago, just so that they wouldn't get their both Raxes taken. So that puts him even further behind, and that's very sad because he was doing very well in the early stages of the game. And I think they had a period of time where they were able to take this game, but it's pretty much over now because Snake King's gotten farm, Arise has gotten farm, Come With Me's gotten farm, they've all gotten farm. I do like what they're doing now. They're smoking up, they're going to try to fight mid without the, Visage. So this is going to be an interesting engagement if they can pick off Snake King, who by the way has a Daedalus as well. So here we go. Arrow, he knows they're here.
Yep, Snake King will leap to the high ground, and the Dream Coil is wasted. Moonlight Shadow, they're actually gonna turn and burn this. Perhaps they can pick up someone. Visage coming in from the side. They jump in, Exist already bursts it down. Disruption putting Unicorn out of play for the moment while they pick up the rest. Bane already dead. Chasing down Ace for the Bet Rider with his BKB. There's no hope for Ace unless he can find himself a tree. And it looks like Unicorn, again, the only one alive, but gets picked up as well. That is gonna be the GG SSD. Well, they take this one, and I wouldn't really say in style, but they do take this one quite convincingly in the end.
I would say in style because, honestly, maybe they had a couple of, early problems. The thing is they didn't, they bend, but they didn't break. And that's the important thing. And we talked about the early game aggression coming out from Mouse Sports, the early 5-man with the Bristleback, the tankiness that they've got. It didn't really work out in the end because where is your carry? Where's your damage coming from? Yes, you're tanky, but you need to end the game about 20 minutes earlier than that. And, SSG just said we have late game the entire time. I'm pretty sure that's probably what they're saying in Mumble or in Ven or whatever they're using. They say we have late game. Just get Mirana farm, get Templar Assassin farm, boom, they're done. Yep,
let's not reply to the fights. Let's not fight them when they want to and only pick them off. And that poor Ace, he's just been picked off so often.
Yeah, he's sad.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, this was the last game for day number 5 of Star Series. Tomorrow, there's going to be 4 more games. Let's take a quick look at the games tomorrow. Empire versus Spera, Alliance versus Virtus Pro, Oslic Gaming versus Virtus Pro, Oslic Gaming versus the Retry. Those will be our games tomorrow. Also, 4 games once again. And they start 1 hour earlier than the games today started, so that will be 1700 CET time for Star Series tomorrow, day 6 already of the 30 days that will be coming out. Thank you for co-casting. Do you have any shout-outs or plugins that you want to do?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure casting with people, and StarLadder has been a lot of fun watching it, and of course, casting with you was an absolute pleasure, so thanks for that.
Yay.
And let's see here. Shout out to the NEL and the EL, which you can watch pretty much every night at 9 o'clock. I'll be doing that, 9 o'clock Eastern time, that is. I'll be doing that on twitch.tv/NeoDota. If you liked my casting, go ahead and follow me at twitter.com/MountDota2 and twitch.tv/MountDota2. And I guess that's it.
Okay, well, thank you very much for casting as well. And of course, you can follow me at Cheever Gaming on Twitter, Twitch, whatever, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube, by the way, where all the VODs of all the StarLadder games are, as well as the games that I played this weekend. So you can check that out. Don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, stick around for watching commercials, because commercials watching as well. And also stick around for hearing the Pusha game, because apparently people want to hear that song. Not game, but I mean song. So yeah, thank you for being here, and have a good night.
All right.